But Ari started the live. So, with that being said, though, we just gonna get started regardless. Thank you, Ari. You say you welcome to the people. You say you welcome to the fam. You're so irritated. All right. So y'all, last night, I just told myself like I'm gonna read tonight or whatever. And God had ended up leading me to the book of Job. And when I say leading me to, he really like just told me to read it. So I was like, all right, bet. Like I literally heard, like, you know how people say that small, still voice? I heard that and I was like, okay. So I went and read it. And I read up to chapter 11. But I'm going to start at chapter 10 and then I'm going to read chapter 11. And I'm going to just give y'all what God gives me. Y'all know how this goes. So look, it says, before we get into the word though, you can tell by the title that this word is more so going to, it can help anybody, but it's more so going to help the people who are probably in the midst of like a new trial, or they may even be, they may have even been suffering through during this season regardless. You could even be at the ending of your trial. It could be new. It could be mid, whatever. But either way it goes. So it says, I am disgusted with my life. This is Job speaking. He said, I am disgusted with my life. I will give vent to my complaint and speak in the bitterness of my soul. Now, a lot of y'all, come on now. It's some people that's doing this right now. Like you are literally, when you speak, you are speaking from literally what Job said, from the bitterness that is within your soul, which is completely understandable. So I don't even think that I'm saying it in a way of like you shouldn't feel that way. But it says, I will give vent to my complaint and speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will say to God, do not declare me guilty. Let me know why you persecute me. Is it good for you to oppress, to reject the work of your hands and favor the plans of the wicked? Do you have eyes of flesh? Stop, Snoop. Do you have eyes of flesh, or do you see as a human sees? Are your days like those of a human, or your years like those of a man? Do you look for my iniquity and search for my sin, even though you know that I am not wicked and that there is no one who can rescue from your power? Sorry, y'all. I got a sports bra on, but still. She always do this when she gets sleepy. But either way it goes, so far what so far what Job is saying in his word, it's basically like, are you counting every wrong that I've done? Are you looking at my life and just kind of like nitpicking with me? Even though you know that I am not a wicked man? So that's basically what Job is saying. Hold on, let me find where I was at. Because she done. Okay. It says, do you have eyes of flesh, or do you see as a human sees? Are your days like those of a human, or your years like those of a man? That you look for my iniquity and search for my sin, even though you know that I am not wicked, and that there is no one who can rescue from your power. Your hands shaped me and formed me. Will you now turn and destroy me? Now listen, y'all know, I know it's some people out there that's asking themselves like, you've brought me this far. Or you may even be talking to God and just being like, Lord, like, why are you allowing all of this to happen to me? Why are you doing this to me? Like, what is it that I've done? And are you against me for a reason that I don't even know of? You get what I'm saying? Because I know when you in that season, you be asking them questions. But it says, please remember that you formed me like clay. Will you now return me to dust? This part right here actually caught my attention because you ever went through a season and it was so bad that you just knew God was literally against you and about to, like, cut your story short. Like, that's how bad it'll feel at times, where you will be like, oh, God must be literally about to destroy me. Like, he's about to unalive me. Like, he finds me worthless. He looks at me as if I am like his enemy, the way he's coming against me. But you can't really find a reason to why God would do that to you. And you know what I noticed last night, what God pointed out to me as I was reading? He said, there are times where people will really believe that I hate them and that I'm coming up against them because of something that they did wrong. I'm so sorry, y'all, but what he said last night was sometimes I allow life to come up against you because of what you've done right. But stick with me, though. Catch what I'm saying. Because he is saying that sometimes he has chosen you to go through circumstances to prove a point to his enemy. See, when you on God's team, you got to fight against the team that is against him. So when the adversary comes and he pick you as one of his teammates, it's time for you to show up and show out. See, that's what Job was doing. He was really showing up and showing out on behalf of God. He was tearing the enemy apart. I ain't even being funny, y'all. He was tearing the enemy apart because the enemy just knew. He said, it's Job's wealth. That's why he praised you. Oh, okay, I took his wealth. It's his health. That's why he praised you. He said, oh, the enemy say, oh, okay, I took his health and his wealth. Okay, it's his children. That's why he praised you. He said, okay, I took his children. You get what I'm saying? Job was smacking the enemy right from left. And see, when you win, you find victory. When you fight and you fight until the end, when you don't give up your fight, eventually you win. But you can't be the one that gives up, because only the one who give in is the one who lose. Do you get what I'm saying? So either way it goes, let me keep going, y'all, because I actually got somewhere I got to be. But either way it goes, it says, please remember that you formed me like clay. Will you now return me to dust? Did you not pour me out like milk and curdle me like cheese? You clothed me with skin and flesh and wove me together with bones and tendons. You gave me life and faithful love, and your care has guarded my life. Yet you concealed these thoughts in your heart. I know that this was your hidden plan. Do you see what Job is saying? He is saying that, God, you made me. You've done all of this just to keep me. But now you come against me. And now he is saying, yet you, God, you concealed these thoughts in your heart. So this is why I'm saying that oftentimes, I'm sorry, y'all, my nose is itching. When you walking through your Job season, you will believe that God feels a way about you. Like, it's so easy for us to be like, oh, God, he hates me. You didn't really forgive me of my sins. You see, all this time I've been walking righteously. I'm not being wicked. I'm clinging to you. I'm keeping faith. But yet, Lord, it must be something that you held in your heart about me, and you still haven't forgiven me yet. But that don't even be true. That is not the truth. This is just what Job is thinking God is doing. But really, God, oh my goodness. But really, God favored Job. And that's why he chose him. He said, go test my servant Job. Have you thought about my servant Job? Oh my God. I'm sorry, but God is giving me this right now. Because y'all got to remember the conversation that that Satan had with God. God says, Satan, where have you been? He said, I've been roaming the earth from here and there, walking around on it. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the enemy roamed the whole earth But yet, he couldn't find somebody that could break him the way Job could break him. You get what I'm saying? This is why God said, oh, you've been going here and from there across my entire world. Have you came across somebody like my servant Job? You give what I'm saying? That is favor. It don't feel like favor, do it? It don't feel like favor. I know it don't be feeling like favor. But that's exactly what it is. So look, y'all. Let me go to the next part. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I might can. Let me lift this up right quick. Let me just put this here. Then hopefully, I'm just trying to get her together because she gonna keep on crunching my shirt up, y'all. So I gotta make it to where I don't hurt nobody eyeballs. But look, y'all. So it says, yet you concealed these thoughts in your heart. I know that this was your hidden plan. If I sin, you would notice and would not acquit me of my iniquity. If I am wicked, woe to me. And even, sorry, y'all. And even if I am righteous, I cannot lift up my head. I am filled with shame and have drunk deeply of my affliction. If I am proud, you hunt me. Stop, Snoop. If I am proud, you hunt me like a lion, and again display your miraculous power against me. You produce new witnesses against me and multiply your anger toward me. Hardships assault me, wave after wave. Why did you bring me out of the womb? I should have died and never been seen. I wish I had never existed, but had been carried from the womb to the grave. And this is the thing, y'all. This is the thing. Hold on, because it was something he was telling me. Y'all see where Job is saying, hardships assault me, wave after wave. Why did you bring me out of the womb? See, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because you know how you'll be facing your season of battle, and then it comes to a point where you will be like, my life is worthless. Like, what was the point of all of this? Like, those are the questions you'll ask, and you'll be like, God, what was the point of all of this? Why did you let me even choose to walk in God if you were still going to hate me? Why did you even have me go through all these battles? Whatever it is, exalting the name of God, praising and worshiping, clinging to faith. Why did you let me do all of this? Why did you let me live? Why did you let me believe if you weren't going to value me? That's basically what Job is saying. He is saying, hardships assault me, wave after wave. Why did you bring me out of the womb? I should have died and never been seen. I wish I had never existed, but had been carried from the womb to the grave. Are my days not few? Stop it. Leave me alone so that I can smile a little. Before I go to a land of darkness and gloom, never to return. It is a land of blackness like the deepest darkness, gloomy and chaotic, where even the light is like the darkness. That's crazy. All right, so look, y'all, next chapter. That was Job speaking. Now, this is one of Job's friends, and he is replying to what Job just said. So it says, then Zophar, the Naamathite, replied, should this abundance of words go unanswered, and such a talker be acquitted? Should your babbling put others to silence, so that you can keep on ridiculing with no one to humiliate you? Now, this part right here is interesting to me. I'm not gonna lie. Because how many of y'all have been in a season where it was like, okay, it's dark, it's hard, it's battle after battle, it's wave after wave, and then you are like babbling on to people that are around you. But notice how his friend said, so that you can keep on ridiculing with no one to humiliate you. See, in other words, what his friend is saying, are you saying all these bad things about yourself so that nobody can defend and tell you that you are wrong about what you think that God is doing to you? So basically, his friend is in a way checking him. Like, do you want to keep babbling on thinking that nobody is about to come and humiliate you, humble you, and let you know that you are seeing this from the wrong set or point of view? And I just had to point that out for somebody who may be in that place where you are like constantly saying that God hates you and that God is coming up against you, when in reality, that's not what's happening. If you speaking, like Job said, from the bitterness of your soul, because the thickness of the hardship, that's where you're speaking from. But it doesn't necessarily mean that God actually feels that way about you. I'm trying to tell you. Either way, let me keep going. I was about to say something else, but let me keep going. So it says, you have said, my teaching is sound and I am pure in your sight. But if only God would speak and open his lips against you, he would show you the secrets of wisdom. For true wisdom has two sides. Now let me tell y'all what I got from this part. Because you see how Job is saying, oh, I've done the right thing. I'm pure at heart. I'm righteous. And all of this, right? But then his friend is like, see, you're basing your circumstances on what you've done good. And a lot of times people do that. They be like, listen, I've done everything right. What's the problem, God? And then his friend comes and tell him, but true wisdom has two sides. And it does. A little while ago, I was talking to y'all, and I was telling y'all how a lot of the times it's not just a one-sided answer. Two things can still be the truth. That junk is weird, but literally it can. Like, I'm going to give y'all an example before I get into the answer that I was about to give. Like, for example, a person can be like, I miss you, but I don't want you back in my life. Both of those things can be true. How can you miss a person but don't want them back in your life? Do you get what I'm saying? Two things can be true. So that's just to give an example, just in case it didn't fully resonate. But see now, so with God, what he is saying is the two-sided truth to what Job is going through is that he has been doing everything right. He is righteous at heart. God actually does love him. But the second answer is, it's not about his good works. It's about what God has allowed over his life, being that he is coming up against the enemy through Job's faith. Do you get what I'm saying? And Job don't understand that. Job only understands to his level of wisdom, which is, if I do right, good comes to me. If I do good, good comes back on me. That's what everybody believes. But in reality, there can be two truths to a battle. So what he doesn't see is God's side to this battle. But either way it goes, and God can't even reveal that to him as of yet, because that would defeat the whole purpose on why God even chose Job. So walk by faith. I'm trying to tell y'all. But either way it goes. So it says, hold on, wait, let me make sure I'm starting at the right place. Flips against you. He will show you the secret of wisdom. Oh, okay, here it goes. So it says, know then that God has chosen to overlook some of your iniquity. Can you fathom the depths of God or discover the limits of the Almighty? They are higher than the heavens. What can you do? They are deeper than Sheol. What can you know? Their measure is longer than the earth and wider than the sea. If he passes by and throws someone in prison or convenes a court, who can stop him? Surely he knows which people are worthless. If he sees iniquity, will he not take note of it? But a stupid person will gain understanding as soon as a wild donkey is born a human. So, in other words, what he is saying on this part is that oftentimes people are too quick to think they understand a thing. That's why he is saying, but a stupid person will gain understanding as soon as a wild donkey is born a human, not understanding that they don't understand right off the bat. So, in other words, give it time. But it says, as for you, if you redirect your heart and spread out your hands to him in prayer. Now listen what he is saying on this part. Job's friend is telling Job, but if you, Job, was to redirect your heart, remember Job said, I'm speaking from the bitterness of my soul. So now his friend is saying, if you redirect your heart from that bitterness, stop being so quick to understand